Today we're with Hannah Mills, and we're here at her attorney's office, which is David Hogg and Aaron Gartland. There's been some Facebook chatter, and before I ran with this, I wanted to make sure that things were authentic. Mm-hmm. And you confirmed me of some things that happened to your child. And I want to first start, you got a little boy or girl?
Little girl.
Little girl. How old is she?
She's 19 months. 19
months. Mm-hmm. And you leave her at daycare while you work.
Yes.
And that daycare is?
It was.
Was?
Kitty Campus on Headland Avenue.
Okay. Tell us what happened to your child.
I went to pick her up about 5:45 or so on May the 24th. I walked in the front door. The owner greeted me at the door, and she very nonchalantly asked me if my daughter bruised easily. And I said, "No, ma'am, she doesn't." And she said, "Well, she's fallen outside, and she, whatever, and went and got her." And as soon as I saw my daughter, it was obvious that that was not what had happened. She had marks on her legs and arms and face, and it was obvious that that was not the result of a fall.
And I understand some of those marks were bite marks?
Definitely. Every mark that I saw on her was definitely a bite mark.
And Hannah, you said May the 24th.
I meant March the 24th.
March 24th.
I'm sorry?
That's right. It was March the 24th.
March the 24th.
All right. And what did you do? Did you ask them further at that time at the daycare?
I was in complete shock. I tell people that it was the grace of God that I couldn't say anything, because I know I wouldn't be able to stop talking. But as soon as I got out of there, I got in my car and I called my husband, hysterical, and then I called David, and he told me that it would be in my best interest to take her to the emergency room and call the police, and that's what I did. I took her to Flowers and called the police immediately.
All right. And what did Flowers tell you?
That it was obvious that these were not the result of a fall. This was not an injury that she obtained from a fall. These were obvious bite marks. Obvious.
Dothan Police Department responded?
Yes.
And they called out, I'm assuming an investigator got involved?
It was as far as I got, the corporal was who took the initial report, and then I got a call a couple days later from an investigator saying that there wasn't really much that they could do other than turn it over to DHR. But as far as criminal, they can't go and arrest the child that bit her. But that was as far as they could go with
They
it.
didn't investigate the facts of what happened?
Not further than what I was able to tell them, to my knowledge anyway. That the way that the bites are, it's fairly obvious that it was a child, and they said that there was nothing that they could do further from their point other than turn it over to DHR and let DHR handle it the way that they handle it.
Have you heard from
neglect?
Have you heard from DHR?
Absolutely. We've been working very closely with DHR, both with the state and with the county, with their licensing, and as far as the neglect. That's the way DHR works. That the state handles their license and the county handles the abuse and neglect charges and things like that. And we've been working with both of those entities to work further.
Have they gotten to the bottom line of exactly what happened?
No, they'll have a hearing at some point on what's going to happen with the daycare.
Yeah, but as far as with the child, as far as how the marks,
No, we've not been given any kind of conclusions.
and neither the daycare nor DHR has told you exactly how things happened.
No, the daycare has not contacted me further at all.
Did you contact them back after you went to the hospital and say it's bite marks?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I understand that the state has been at the daycare this week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The most important question, how is your child now?
we're still dealing with the ramifications of this incident. My child has very, very deep anxiety at this point that we're trying to work through.
Ricky, can you imagine, how many bite marks was it, 18? 18 bite marks all over that child's body, her being held down, screaming while being bitten that many times, and nobody being there to supervise the child, to hear that, and rescue that child. How long that must have gone on?
And that's a follow-up question I'm gonna ask. Why, I know you can't arrest a child, but taking a report, there should have been an investigation conducted into exactly what happened and answers that the child had marks on them like that.
I don't really know, other than letting the county do what they do as far as DHR goes and press charges that way for the abuse and the neglect.
We don't know what they're doing for sure. I mean,
No.
they're doing their own investigation.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when we begin our process, when we file suit, then we'll conduct our own investigation.
Okay. Based on the experience that you've had, is there anything that you want to say of a word of warning to parents in the future? Because you've had an experience that most people have not had with daycare, as far as...
I would say don't write off all daycares, because they're not all bad. My daughter is in a daycare now that I trust completely, 100%. Just pop in different times, and if you have an inkling or a feeling that you don't think that your child's being taken care of, then I would act on it, and I wouldn't wait around for some kind of magical, explanation for what you're feeling, because usually our intuitions are right.
Spencer had been at this daycare for
Only a week. And I had no indication of anything prior to this. I mean, she was not scared to go. She was not overly excited to leave. She's happy to see me and ready to go home, but it wasn't because she was scared. We had no indication whatsoever that something was going on there. But I would definitely advise parents to be at a daycare that has cameras where you can, pull it up on your phone and know exactly what's going on at all times. Definitely.
Anything else y'all want to discuss?
I think the lady that owns the daycare, every day when she took Spencer in, you would drop Spencer off with that lady.
Yes.
What's her name?
Vivian Daniels.
It's Daniels.
Vivian Daniels.
And every time you picked her up,
I relieved her, Vivian Daniels.
Okay.
Her from her, excuse me.
All right. Well, we appreciate it.